Hey guys, I'm Tara Palmeri. I am considered one of the most feared and fearless reporters in Washington, D.C. because I don't play for either side, not the Democrats or the Republicans. I am a scoop hound. I am looking for the insider reporting, and I want to tell you the conversations that are happening at the highest levels of power that they don't want to say publicly, the things that they're talking about privately. So come here for more of my reporting. Smash that subscribe button. This week, the inside conversation is all about who's the real Secretary of State. Is it Marco Rubio, the Senate confirmed Secretary of State, or Trump's best friend and billionaire real estate developer, Steve Witkoff, who's had his portfolio expand from Middle East to solving the war in Ukraine as a special envoy?
We have some wonderful people up front right here that have worked so hard. Steve Witkoff, thank you very much.
I talked to a bunch of State Department officials, and they said that in terms of setting the direction for the department, Witkoff outranks Rubio. And it's mainly because he can walk into the Oval Office and talk to Trump. He's got Trump's ear, and therefore, he's got precedent. Their relationship goes way back. It goes back to the 1980s when they were both real estate developers. And frankly, Trump has always been impressed by him. He was impressed by the ceasefire deal that he helped hammer out during the Biden administration between Hamas and Israel. And because of that, he's expanded his role to Ukraine. And now the question is, he's not the only special envoy. There are others, and they're all Trump friends and loyalists who didn't have to go through Senate confirmation or rigorous background checks like Rick Grinnell and Keith Kellogg, and even the former Apprentice producer, Mark Burnett, who is the special envoy to the United Kingdom. Did you ever think that the U.S. needed a special envoy to England? A place of stability and one of our greatest allies. But clearly Trump is giving away these areas to his pals, and they're kind of like fiefdoms. Do they report to the Secretary of State, or do they report to Trump? Technically, they don't outrank ambassadors, but like I said, power derives from the president and your ability to talk to him. And one diplomat told me it just looks like Trump doesn't trust Marco Rubio. And it might be because he was burned by his last two secretaries of state, Rex Tillerson and Mike Pompeo. After all, after January 6th, when Trump was persona non grata, it was Steve Witkoff who flew down to Mar-a-Lago to be with him, not Marco Rubio. And you may think this is kind of crazy, right? Presidents just giving away the power of the free world to their pals? Well, it's not completely unprecedented. I'm going to throw out a name you haven't heard in a long time. George H.W. Bush. Well, he made his tennis buddy, James Baker, his Secretary of State. And he was seen as his foreign policy mind, and he's been hailed as a great Secretary of State to this day. So Witkoff and Trump, they see the world in the same way. They see it as one big real estate deal. Remember just a few weeks ago when Trump suggested that the U.S. occupy Gaza because it had great waterfront property and could be the Riviera of the Middle East?
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it. Level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. And I don't want to be cute, I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad, this could be so magnificent.
Well, where do you think he got that idea from? As I reported first, it was Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, who's also in real estate. But he had been cooking up this idea for a while with Steve Witkoff, and now the two of them have convened with real estate investors to talk about how to rebuild Gaza. They think it'll probably be about 5 years before that happens. So, Steve Witkoff is essentially another Elon Musk. He's a peer to Trump, another billionaire. He's not a staffer, and he has a lot of conflicts of interest too because of his businesses. For example, Qatar bought his Park Lane Hotel for $623 million in 2023, and it was seen as sort of a bailout. The Abu Dhabi Investment Fund was also a stakeholder. Clearly, these two countries are very invested in Middle East peace. As for Marco Rubio, MAGA has always been very suspicious of him for being a neoconservative, and he seems to be trying to shake that image. Let's just think back to 2016 when Marco Rubio was a presidential candidate and he was calling Putin a gangster and a thug and said that the U.S. should not be sitting down with him.
Which is why I reiterate my belief that Vladimir Putin is a war criminal.
Well, ever since Donald Trump called Vladimir Zelensky the president of Ukraine, the dictator, he's changed his tune, following his boss, I guess you could say, a little self-survival over here. He said, quote, there were pretty unique, potentially historic economic partnership opportunities with Russia. I know, can you believe this? What a U-turn. But to everyone in town, it's obvious that Rubio is trying to find his footing, even as all of these envoys are flying around. Spokespeople for Rubio and Witkoff declined to comment on the record. For more of my insider reporting, smash that subscribe button and share this page with your friends. I'll be back again later this week.